everybody, Mike Jeffers, Chicago Jazz Magazine, chicagojazz.com, and welcome to another episode of Around Town. And today, our first guests are Anne and Mark Burnell. Of course, you have seen them on this show before. You've seen them all over the city performing, all over the country performing, and even all over Europe performing if you follow their Facebook and Instagram pages. We are excited because we were talking about Anne and Mark are doing a special Halloween show October 31st at the all-new bar at Rhapsody Theater right there in Rogers Park, 1328 West Morse Avenue in Chicago, rhapsodytheater.com. Mark, Anne, welcome to the show. I'm glad we could catch up real fast and talk about this exciting Halloween night. And is there a rumor going around, I think Anne started it, that this might be one of Mark's favorite holidays, Halloween?
He loves Halloween.
At the piano and everything. Look at this.
We're at the piano, yeah. Yeah, he loves it. He, ever since I can remember, if he has a gig by himself, okay, sing. He'll make me put all this makeup on him and stuff, and the tuxedo, and he looks like he's dead, and so he has not decided what he's going to be yet. Are you going to be Dracula? You won't be able to sing with those things.
I won't be able to sing.
But yeah,
you're right. I can't sing with him.
He's got Halloween theme songs from all these TV shows that he jazzes up, and then he has
songs about the moon and songs about the night and songs about killing people and murders. And, there's a lot of material out there.
Yeah, there's stuff from musicals and it's just a chance to bring out all the material, And so
and you guys are going to do this, so it's October 31st, and Rhapsody Theater, for those of you that don't know, is the old main stage, which has been reformed, reimagined as actually a magic theater. Meeting the main theater, they have magic in there Thursday through Sundays. Ricardo Rosenkrantz, the new owner, he's been doing that for about a year and a half. And now he's activating music, and he's activating it in the bar. So he's calling it the bar at Rhapsody Theater, right there on Morris. So all of you that remember Main Stage, that's what it is. And it's even better because it's got a great atmosphere in there. And you guys are going to be there. So Halloween night, 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. And you probably do 3 sets, something like that. No covers, so everybody's going to be able to come in.
Great, yeah.
Isn't that great?
I know. It's
magic too. That old black magic.
And I always tell people this: there's parking. Yes, there's parking. 2 lots over, they have the gravel lot over there. You can enter through the back, free parking for 40 spots. So there's parking there, plus on the street and everything else. So it's very easy to get to, especially with the L line and all that. All right, so they can expect to see Mark with some fake teeth in, looking like he's dead, singing. And Anne, are you going to be leading the charge? Are you?
I'm going to be I have a black wig, which I think I'm going to try to do Martisha. So you might not recognize me with black hair, but I'm going to do that. And we just, anyway, we love that new Rhapsody Theater place. I hope it becomes kind of a hang for the neighborhood since he's not charging a cover. And they now have little appetizers and little slices of pizza and stuff. So you can get some food there too, which is cool. People are hanging around.
It's a fun little place. It's always got that main room is just gorgeous. And I know you have some shows coming up there. And why don't we plug just a little bit as a teaser? Of course, everybody can go over to burnellmusic.com, but you're doing your 20th anniversary of Eve of the Eve show there, which is, the eve before New Year's Eve, right. Which is, that's a super popular show.
It's our fans' favorite gig of the year. They've told us this, and we always have guest artists too.
Talk a little bit about what that concept is. I mean, we can get more into it as we get into the fall. I'm going to have you back on to talk about that. But since we're talking about Rhapsody, talking about the main theater, talking about you doing Halloween, 7:30 to 10:30 p.m., what's a little bit about the Eve of the Eve show, too, to warm people up?
Well, 20 years ago is when we started this, and people were complaining about New Year's Eve with no parking and too high of a cover and too crazy. So we thought, well, let's do it the night before. And then just bring a bunch of guest artists in and have people sing, and it became popular.
It's like a variety show.
Yeah.
But what we really thought was New Year's Eve is for amateurs. People who never go out like all of a sudden go out and drink too much. So we thought, let's just get this over with the day before, and then we can be, careful and sober and everything,
And Eva the E was a cute,
Yeah.
title, so it worked, and people remember it.
So it's like a amateur hour. Like, I mean, so you guys are performing and you have guests and all that stuff, but you also have
Some pretty good performers.
numerous amounts of guests, right? I mean, yeah, I was going to say it's a lot of
over the
professionals.
years, it's been, a lot of the cabaret people
Yep.
come, some of the jazz people come, and they usually bring like their special material. Especially, I mean, they try to bring something really poignant or funny or, new.
Mhm.
So, because some people write stuff, and it's just kind of to christen the new year between all the musicians and the singers, and the audience loves it too.
Well, it's a great way to kind of bring everybody together before New Year's Eve as kind of a community, music community, cabaret community, entertainment community, and kick off the new year for 2024, which I can't believe. And it's 20 years now, the 20th anniversary of this show, huh?
Yeah, we even did an online version of it during COVID.
Yeah, we did one online one, and then one time, we're not counting that year, we had to cancel because he got COVID. So we had a sold out room. And so this will be interesting because the Rhapsody Theater is gorgeous inside there. And so they'll really be in those small cabaret tables. And yeah, but we're looking forward to it.
It's really set up really nice. And of course, if anybody goes there October 31st, I'm sure there's an opportunity for you to take a peek into the cabaret, into the big room, into the main room. But of course, go visit Mark and Anne October 31st, the bar at Rhapsody Theater, 1328 West Morse Avenue. You're distracting me.
I'm sorry.
1328 West Morse Avenue in Chicago, rhapsodytheater.com, of course, burnellmusic.com. Guys, thanks for jumping on for a few minutes. We were going to see you on Halloween night. This is going to be spectacular. Great way to kick it off. And also, you're going to be at Rhapsody a couple more times, and once in November and once in December before you head to Florida. So that there's other opportunities to come in and hear you sing things other than Halloween music as well.
Oh, yes. I'll be there with Jeremy Kahn on November 21st, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And one time in December as well. So I hope, like all my Rogers Park friends will come out and just hang out.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on, guys. I appreciate it. And hopefully, as I always say, everybody checks out this show, burnellmusic.com. And let's get over, because my next interview is with Clark Sommers, and he's got an exciting show coming up November 3rd and 4th at the Green Mill. We just previewed Anne Burnell's show on October 31st at Rhapsody Theater. And we are currently talking to Clark Sommers, a great bassist from Chicago. He has a new release coming out, and he is previewing it and releasing it. I guess it's a concert for the release, I should say, November 3rd and 4th at Green Mill. Of course, 4802 North Broadway. As Dave Gemolo always says, all roads lead to Uptown. Clark, welcome to the show. Congratulations on this new recording, Feast Ephemera. I knew I was going to say it wrong and then say it right. So I got it right. Man, so it's a 12-piece original music. Talk a little bit about the whole concept of this and what people are going to hear on November 3rd and 4th.
Sure. The record just came out on John Arabagon's Arabagast Records. And I wrote the music for these musicians in Chicago that I feel that I've been lucky enough to play with over the last 20, some of them 25 years. And I've been able to sort of play with them and their groups. And this was kind of a love letter to them and their commitment to the music and to the Chicago community, over the last couple decades. And it really came about during COVID, really during the kind of meat of the lockdown. And I was kind of pursuing a graduate degree at DePaul before COVID started, and then we were kind of shut in for the ensuing sort of 1.5 to 2 years, starting in spring of 2020, and it just gave me a way to stay connected with these musicians and to think about them in a way that would help sort of fuel a project. And so it allowed me to kind of think about as many of these people as possible under one sort of one umbrella, if you will, in one project
Well,
for
what's the-
for the future and for a better time when we could be together. This was sort of in lieu of having us be together.
Mhm.
And so I was imagining a time when we would be past that, in our history, and that we would be able to reconvene and play music together. So that was really the origin of the music.
It seems like so long ago that we were locked down, but really when you think about it, like 2 years ago, we were just starting to come out of it or going back into it. I can't remember now the timeline, but it's mind boggling to think that way. And even back then, we really didn't know when the end was going to happen, right? Because it was, nobody knew what was going to happen. So the fact that you were writing this music, thinking about each individual, it must have been something like, you probably missed playing with them live, and that sparked the creativity as you wrote this piece. Is that the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, that's actually exactly right. I just of course missed being in the room with all of them and missed our sort of creative energy and just social energy and just the support we get from one another when we play and are in person with one another. And so I just really tried to imagine their individual voices together in this context. And it really gave me a way to stay engaged in a creative process, uh, in lieu of being able to actually play and perform. And so I think it was very a cool. It was it was sort of like making a good situation, making a bad situation as good as I could make it, and as sort of engaged as I could remain, in the creative process on a daily basis. And so it gave me a lot to sort of think about. I had to learn a lot as I was doing it. I'd never written for a group of 12 musicians, and I've never arranged, of course, for that many people. And so it was just a really potent period for me to be sort of wading in those waters every day, and sort of every day being faced with a new challenge in this writing process. So it would also get me on the phone with them individually and ask about different ranges of the instrument that they played, and different ways of voicing some of the chords, with all the 8 horns. So I feel very grateful to have had that outlet. And I really didn't think, to be honest, that I really didn't know that I would record it ever. And I certainly didn't think I would record it as soon as a year ago. I mean, we recorded a year ago in July, and it only just came out in September. So it really was just sort of a panacea for the time that we were in, and just to stay connected with the music, and to stay curious about music. And so I really thought of it like that, like it was the antidote to what we were all kind of doing and dealing with on a daily basis at that time. So it just, circumstances sort of came together, and we were able to record it. And so now it's out, which is a little bit hard for me to believe, but here we are.
Well, you don't realize it, because then when it finally comes out, it's like, okay, great. Now it's out. Now I'm doing a release show November 3rd and 4th at the Mill. But all the time you spent putting this together, especially since the fact that you guys were remote. So it wasn't like you could get in and have 4 or 5 guys and kind of bounce ideas off of each other in the room. So there was a lot of back and forth, but it also sounds like that really helped to give you a structure of your day, because everything was kind of shut down. Number one, a motivation to continue to create and continue to keep your mind active, but also connect socially with people about something, which is totally needed when you're not able to connect with them in person and hang out or do any of that stuff. So the fact that this whole thing came about, what's the meaning of the title? So talk a little bit about the meaning of the title.
Sure. Feast is just, I think of it just almost literally sort of on the meaning of that word. I guess, of course there are different contexts. I mean, uh, you know, the size of the group is a sort of direct correlation with that. And the ephemera aspect of it is, kind of twofold. The first thing is, I was thinking about, every situation is kind of can be fleeting, and ultimately nothing stays the same. Everything is constantly in flux. And I was very much sort of thinking about what life would be after all of this, and imagining what's coming next. But I also thought of some of the ideals in the music, in improvised music and jazz music, and that we relish the moment that we're in when we're playing this music, and it keeps us, that idea of how things are so fleeting keeps us engaged in the moment. And I think it was sort of not a cautionary tale, but for me it was a way to say to myself, don't take this for granted again. Don't take what we have for granted, because things come and go so quickly. Don't take these people for granted. Don't take this community for granted. So I think, I wanted to do something on a larger scale. I wanted to try to make a sound in the music that was more than some of the previous records that I'd made, like the trio project with Jeff Bradfield and Dana Hall with Bash, and then the sextet project with the two horns. And so I just wanted to see, how broad I could make the sound, so the combination of those two words kind of equates to the idea of the project to me. And this thing with COVID was a big moment. It was big, it was big for everybody. So there are lots of metaphors that I think of when I think of the combination of those words, that are literal, that are more metaphoric, and that to me were very germane to the moment that we were in. And so just very much appreciating the moment, and I took it kind of from there and tried to make it into some kind of musical expression.
Well, I'll tell you what, I listened to one of the tracks, and it really impressive, really ranged. I mean, you can hear the textures and the depth of the whole thing. So I haven't heard the whole recording yet, so I can't wait to dig into the whole thing. But just knowing the background of it, and of course, I'm going to encourage everybody, get there early, November 3rd and 4th at the Green Mill, greenmilljazz.com. 8 p.m. each night, 8 p.m. till midnight. I'm assuming you're probably going to do probably three sets, I would imagine, and do that. Of course, the new recording is available at clarksommers.com, and he's all active on social and everything else. And by the way, he does some of the best on the way to the gig videos. You got to check out some of those Instagram posts. It's classic. So go over there and check those out, if nothing else. But Clark, congratulations on this whole thing, man. I'm going to try to get up there on Friday night, but if I don't get there, I'm going to definitely do a deep dive on this. And all the best. And man, what an undertaking. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk about this, because it really is great.
Yeah, Mike, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate being able to tell you about it. Yeah.
Oh, of course. And of course, I want to thank everybody for watching. All the information's on chicagojazz.com as well. And as I always say, until next time, hopefully I will see somebody out on the scene.